Okay, so quick run through volume, shall we, children? All right, let's start off with a cube, like six-sided die. The volume of that would just be one side to the third power. That's number one. Number two, a rectangular prism, like a matchbox. Again, three dimensions: length, width, height. Length times width times height. So those are the first two. Notice the similarity, because a cube is a rectangular prism, but since all sides are the same, we don't call it length times width times height, we just call it s to the third. For any kind of prism, be it rectangular, be it triangular, be it really circular, which is a cylinder, we'll get to that. But for any kind of prism, the area of the base, capital B in your formula books, the area of the base, times the height is the volume. When you see the formula charts with capital B with an asterisk, usually that's what it means. B stands for the area of the base times the height. So for example, for this rectangular prism, say I were to put in some figures. The volume here would be length times width times height. 6 times 4 is the area of the base times the height. So it's really the same thing. Once you notice the relationship between these formulas, it's easy to see how they're all interconnected. So that's for any kind of prism, including a rectangular prism. Now, for a cylinder, the next one I wanted to talk to you about. Of course, the interesting thing about the net of the cylinder is it's just a rectangle and two circles. Okay? The curved surface of the cylinder is the rectangle. So if I were to curve this around, have this one curved, that would form a rectangle. Now, the two circles form the base, so I just need to know the area of one circle, and once I multiply that by the height, I get volume. And then of course surface area is just the area of that rectangle plus the area of those two circles. Okay, we'll do a whole section on surface area. Right now, the volume, think of it like a stack of CDs. They're all circles. They're as tight as can be. The higher it is, the volume is the area of one of those tiny little discs multiplied by that height. It's the same thing. So I'm looking at this from the top, all I see is that. Okay, now, moving on, we've got the pyramid, cone, and sphere. The last three we're going to look at: pyramid, cone, and sphere. Now, pyramids. Maybe the most famous three-dimensional shape of all, and also one of the most easily confused. It's simply 1/3 the area of the base times the height. So capital B again, the area of this base times the height. Notice that the height is not this. The height is from a distance that is perpendicular to the base. Okay, so that's the pyramid. For the cone, it's 1/3 pi r squared times the height. Of course, since the area of a circle is pi r squared, a cone, like similarities, again, I like to stress that. It's the same formula, but in this case, the area of the base of a cone, since the base of the cone is a circle, is pi r squared. So these numbers are substituted for area of the base. And I have 1/3 pi r squared. Then h. So again, these formulas don't have to be crammed. So the more you use them, the more you familiarize yourself with them, and that's what you get. All right. Finally, for a sphere, it's 4/3 pi r to the third. Remember, again, the height of a cone has to come from the center, and it has to be perpendicular to the base. Okay, so it's 1/3 area of the base times height. Cones and pyramids, 1/3 area of the base times height. Finally, for the sphere, there's only one dimension you need to know, and that's the radius. So this is a sphere. Okay. If that's a sphere, all you need to do is 4/3 radius pi r to the third. And that would give you the volume. So pi just fixed already, you know that. Well, it's very 4/3, then times pi, then times radius. Okay, so you've seen the formulas, but it doesn't help you until you work out some examples. You actually have to work them out on your own. Now, I'm just going to use some random numbers and solve volume situations. Starting, of course, with the simplest situation, the volume of a cube. So, let's put cube. Let's see. Then we're going to do rect pris. We're going to do pris. I'm going to do cylinder. I'm going to do pyramid. And we're going to do cone. Okay, so here are the basic volume things you need to know. Starting with the cube. What do I need to know? Only the side. That's it. Only one thing. For rectangular prism, I need to know the length, the width, and the height. Same thing goes for the prism. For a cylinder, I need to know different things now. I need to know radius, I need to know height, and that's it. For a pyramid, I need to know length, I need to know width, I need to know height. For a cone, I need to know radius, and I need to know height. Okay, so here's all you need, and you just apply the formulas. So, quick examples for a cube. I know the side. Cube with a side of 3, what's the volume? 3 times 3 times 3. S to the third equals S times S times S. 3 times 3 is 9. Answer 27. Okay, rectangular prism. I know length and width and height. All I need to know is those three numbers and multiply them together. Now, sometimes they put in decimals. Not a problem. Just be careful and line up the decimals if you have to. So say you have these dimensions. Start off with 4.1 times 3. That's 12.3. 12.3, multiply that by 3.5. Now, it's just like you're multiplying by 35, but the thing you have to remember is the number of decimal places. So 3.5 has one decimal place, 12.3 has one decimal place. So that means on your answer, you're going to count 2 decimal places. So quickly, multiplying here, that's 15, it's 11, 6, place marker, 9, 6, 3, add it up. Now I'm going to count 2 decimal places, so it's 43.05, and that's your volume. Again, no decimal places, 1, 1. So your answer should have 2 decimal places unless your answer is a whole number. Now, prism, all you need to know is the same thing. Area of the base times the height. For a cylinder, you need to know the radius and you need to know the height. For the radius, we apply pi r squared. This is the area of circle. Multiply that by the height, and that'll give you the volume. For a pyramid, you need to know length, width, and height. Length times width to give you the area of the base. Multiply that by the height, then divide by 3, because it's 1/3. Same thing with the cone. So these ones, you just remember to divide by 3. And finally, the last one is the sphere, which is 4/3 pi r to the 3rd power. So all you need to know is the radius, distance from the center of the sphere to any point on the outside. Now, some people like to just use a shortcut and multiply like that, but sometimes if you work it out, like multiplying with fractions, you should be able to work it out and get an answer with respect to pi for that volume. I'm sweating.